Election day here in the great state of California. It is a recall election, as in I can't recall why we spent almost $300 million on this, but we did, and here we are. The votes are in, and soon we'll learn whether Gavin Newsom will remain as governor or if he will be replaced by one of the 46 lunatics running against him. A couple of the challengers are people whose names you may know, like Olympic gold medal winning stepfather Caitlyn Jenner and right-wing radio host Larry Elder, but the rest you may not, and it is quite a cast of characters, starting with former Hustler magazine editor Dan Kapelovitz and took it very seriously in a pair of Donald Trump-colored sunglasses. You've got Jeremy Marciniak. His party preference is no party, which makes sense. Looks like he's never been invited to one. Chauncey Slim Killins. Slim isn't just his nickname, it's also his chance of ever winning an election of any kind. There's Adam Papagan. His candidate statement is "Love you" with a U, and he looks like the guy who shows up to a swingers party alone. And it wouldn't be a California recall election without Angeline, the famous Angeline is the Bratz doll who wished on a star to become an old woman, and that dream came true. People in LA know Angeline well because she drives a pink Corvette around town, and then somebody pays for these billboards that are she's the closest thing we have to Bigfoot here. And then there are about 40 other people. So if you're wondering why your craziest neighbor hasn't been feeding the possums lately, it's because she was busy running for governor of California. You know, the votes haven't been counted yet, but the Republican frontrunner, Larry Elder, is already claiming he's detected fraud. This is the new thing for Republicans. If you win, it was a landslide. If you lose, it was fraud. Larry's been claiming the election is fixed for a few days now, as has Donald Trump, who chimed in from Mar-a-Lardo to call it a rigged election. A week before it even happened, it was a rigged election. Look, guys, I get it. You're losers and you're embarrassed. It's the same way I felt when I was still a virgin my senior year of high school. But trust me, lying about it doesn't help. It just makes it worse. Go rub yourself in the broom closet like I did. You know, it's been, I don't know how many of you live here or visiting, but how many of you voted today? Just a quick show of hands. Well, all right. Okay, just really mostly our staff. All right. It's been interesting talking to people about this because most seem to have little to no idea it's happening, and many of those who do know it's happening don't seem to be sweating the details either, which we had some fun with in tonight's California Recall edition of Eyewitness News.
Have you voted in the recall?
I have voted in the recall. I have made my decision.
Can I ask who you ended up voting for?
I voted for Larry Eldridge. Larry Eldridge. Ooh, don't want to say people's names wrong now, Lord.
Of course.
Larry Eldridge is who I voted for.
You're anti-mask?
I am.
Jeffrey Epstein's anti-mask. Would you vote for Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
Did you research all the other candidates?
There was only that on there. Oh, for the other available candidates.
For the recall, yeah.
I looked at a couple, 2 or 3 other ones, and I had a couple of friends recommending different things. They didn't speak to me like Larry Eldridge did.
So nobody, like the stuff that people were saying about Pat Sajak, that didn't resonate with you?
Didn't resonate with me.
Do you think that Kanye West will make a good governor if elected?
Absolutely not.
So Kanye's running for governor in California, but he's having these campaign listening parties in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Do you think that's misguided?
I believe so. You're not reaching the audience that you need to reach. Again, if it's for California, if it's for Los Angeles, it needs to be for the public of Los Angeles in Los Angeles.
If Larry ends up not winning, will you be voting in next month's recall to recall whoever wins the recall?
Yes, and I encourage everyone to vote.
Got it. Have you voted yet?
No, I haven't. As far as I know, you can just put what's the word I'm looking, recall on a piece of paper and just hand it to them. That's considered a vote.
Yes, that's what I've heard that as well. I've heard you can even vote like verbally.
Yeah.
So do you want to verbally vote right now?
Yes, if I could.
Yeah. So okay, I can walk you through it. Okay, state your name.
Arthur Ponto.
Party preference.
Republican.
Candidate of choice.
Larry Elder.
Second candidate of choice.
Is there a second?
Ted Lasso. Maybe?
Ted Lasso. Yeah.
And then if you could just sign if you could just sign your name in the air with your finger. Ding.
Is that good?
All right, congratulations, you voted, man.
I'd vote for Governor Lasso. You know, there's a new yellow book on the way, another one detailing Donald Trump's final days in the White House. This one might be the craziest yet. You know how we used to joke about how scary it was Trump had the nuclear codes? Well, apparently we weren't alone. The book's called Peril. It's the story of a very nervous group of high-ranking government and military officials following the attack on January 6th on the Capitol. Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was so concerned about what Trump might do after that, he took secret steps to make sure he didn't launch nuclear weapons. After a call from Nancy Pelosi, Milley convened a meeting with all the top military officials and he instructed them to call him immediately if there was any move by Trump to launch a nuclear strike. Basically, he had to baby-proof the nuclear football. He was also worried Trump might try to start a war to stay in power, so much so he called the top military leader in China twice to assure him we weren't going to attack them. That's a hell of a call. Hello? Oh, don't worry, General. I just want to call and say we're not going to attack you. There was also an interesting anecdote about what went down between Trump and his vice poodle in the days leading up to January 6th. According to the book, Mike Pence, when he refused to try to overturn the election, Trump warned, if you don't do this, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Pence was like, well, we're friends? This is good, too. In the heat of all this, Pence reportedly reached out to former Vice President Dan Quayle to get his advice on what to... That makes sense. I'm in a bind. I think I'll call the guy who couldn't spell potato. At this point, Trump is going to have to build a presidential library just to hold all the books that have been written about him. In New York City last night, the biggest and most tone-deaf stars got all dolled up for the annual Met Gala. Everyone, that is, except for Nicki Minaj, who supposedly refused to get vaccinated, which was required in order to attend. And that happenstance led to a very controversial tweet from Nicki, which in turn led to this controversial reading of that tweet from Nicki.
She said that her cousin in Trinidad, quote, won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now that girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. Which seems sensible.
Yeah, it does. Which part is... So then this tweet spreads like crazy. Everybody's posting it, which has to be great news for Nicki's friend's cousin. Poor guy's sitting at home on his couch, TV dinner, resting on his nuts, and now he's famous. Who knew testicle inflation was a side effect of COVID? Nicki, meanwhile, lashed out at the coverage of her tweet. She was mad. She wrote 3 lies in a row from huge news platforms. I cited my young child as why I didn't want to travel, but notice how none of them mentioned that. Ask yourself why that was. Maybe because we got distracted by your cousin's friend's hippo balls? But this actually gives us a chance to talk about something that it actually is important. Nicki's cousin's friend got the COVID vaccine. Then his testicles swelled up. But that doesn't mean his testicles swelled up because he got the COVID vaccine. If you get the vaccine, then you fall in a manhole. Doesn't mean Moderna causes manhole accidents. But when two things happen close together, we tend to see them as connected. And for this friend of Nicki's cousin, I hate to say it, but if your testicles swell up that big, the question isn't, did you get a vaccine recently? It's, what have you been doing to your balls? And by the way, if anyone could track down this friend of Nicki's cousin, I would really like to talk to him. I have questions. Today was the annual Apple iPhone event, or as Tim Cook calls it, Gimme All Your Money Day. It's, I woke up this morning, my iPhone 12 was begging for its life. It was very sad. Apple really, it is incredible. Apple has this amazing ability to create these high-end, cutting-edge devices that we all want to throw in a river the minute they release one in a new color. But the main event around the office today wasn't that. It was my cousin Mickey's birthday. My baby cousin Mickey is 50 years old today. We had an ice cream truck to celebrate. Oh, there's Mickey. Hi, Mick. Look at this. You got... For your 50th birthday, we got you 22 balloons.
Thank you. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Did you have a good day today?
I did. Thank you so much. Everyone made me feel really loved.
Everyone loves Mickey. She's the most positive person any of us know. She's like a cupcake with sprinkles riding a unicorn. But, and perhaps, maybe you've seen Mickey on the show before. If you have, you know she has a way with words and phrases. And so, Micki, to celebrate your special day, we put something together. This is, we put together a loving tribute. These are all things Micki really said, as read by her family and friends. So please enjoy the wit and wisdom of our magical Micki.
Hi, I'm Aunt Chippy. I'm Mickey's mom. And for the last 50 years, she's been saying some pretty crazy things. Here are a few of them.
I went away on a trip recently, and Micki texted me and she said, I am so happy that you're on vacation. You finally have some time to decompose.
One time we were going to a wedding and she said, we just made it by the nick of our feet, or however the saying goes.
One day, Micki was telling us about something funny that happened, and she said, I was laughing from the epitome of my stomach.
Micki said regarding her new electric scooter, it's like a bike on wheels.
Micki once referred to Sarah Palin as the gun-slinging lady from Africa. And then she said, I mean Australia.
One time I overheard Micki really upset because there was an Indonesian baby in the news and he was smoking cigarettes, and I heard her say, a smoking baby? Why isn't PETA getting involved?
Micki did call me on the phone and said to me, Mom, do me a favor, I sent you a package, keep a blind eye out for it.
Micki so genuinely said, are the Cubs and the Eagles the same team?
Micki once asked me, does the heart of an artichoke come from an animal?
One time, Micki said, books can be deceiving.
The squeaky worm gets the meat.
He is the dog who cried wolf.
I loved the movie. I never watched the book.
She's a thorn in our waist.
You really got your pie cut out for you.
She's gonna grow up to be one of those people who eats a lot of meat. A carnivore.
Who knew Winnie the Pooh was so smart? What is Winnie the Pooh? A dog?
I don't want to be the barrier of bad news, but Jeff Goldblum may be dead.
They took her to jail and they strip-teased her.
And then most recently, we were sitting down to dinner where we were about to be served elk, and she was very excited and she said, oh, I love elk. It's a fish, right?
When I found out my roommate in college was blind, she asked me, how are you going to talk to him? And I said, with words.
On Christmas Eve, we have like a seafood feast, and Micki was trying to distinguish between squid and octopus, and she said, the one with all the testicles.
Happy birthday, you beautiful Tom Dom. I love you.
Thank you for loving me.
Cousin Micki, everybody, 50 years old. All right. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Click below to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you want to be that way about it, don't.